The country it has crossed to more than 910 crore litres. Production in the first 8 months of this ethanol supply year's total of 302 crore litres. He filed this report earlier on it.
10 crore litres. As per the data released by Department of Food and Public Distribution, a grain-based ethanol production capacity in the country has reached to 307 crore litres. When it 21-22 has crossed total ethanol production of complete 2 crore litres. So there is a significant jump in ethanol production in the country from various sources. If you talk about ethanol supply, 50% ethanol blended petrol at selected petrol
pumps need to keep these multiple outlets for different kinds of blend, for different levels of blend. And of course, there is the big question on the sugar industry, which had been reeling for some time. Director of Sakthi Sugars. Also joining us in this discussion is Kedar Soman, the founder and CTO of Ebikego Auto. Of course, as far as biofuels are concerned, we understand it as the fuel that's... And of course, we know that we need to cut down our oil imports. So in that context, this discussion is important. Mr. Manickam, the sugarcane goes, the need of the hour for them. As far as slashing up, importantly, we have to meet the 2070 net zero carbon emissions target that India has set. For this, the push towards ethanol production has been a big boost to the sugar industry. In May this year, we met the 10% petrol blending target. But I want to ask you, how much has it really helped the sugar industry, which was bogged down by excess production? There were a big domestic and international market. So has the ethanol production going up helped the sugar industry, and how so?
Actually, ethanol production going up has been a big boost being converted to ethanol. So that is basically taking the sugar stock out of the country. That's first thing. Secondly, in fact, I call this as a reverse multiplier because this. So if you're going to look at 900 crore liters of ethanol, that's almost something like 45,000 farmers. So you're really increasing your farmer welfare. I mean, instead of some earth, we're going to pay our farmers. So if we increase this, fantastic initiative, and we see manufacturers, these vehicles which can run up to 85% of ethanol as fuel there. It's not rocket science. It's only engine mapping which has to be changed and some injectors which have to be changed. Very minor changes for the cars. And that should be possible quite easily.
How minor are these changes according to you, Mr. Soman, that uses blended fuels to drive automotive sector? I understand that the target to transit to E20 fuel, flex fuel, like we know it, by 2025, has its challenges. What exactly are they?
As Mr. Manickam said, there are some timings, right? Those are some of the minor changes that are required. When you see a car performance that is being driven on ethanol and driven on petrol or mix of that, you can compare the difference in three categories. One is a cost per mile of driving. Second is maintenance or any other, a little bit more as the blend increases. And if it's a flexi fuel car, which is certified for flexible fuel, you should have no problem running on it. As maintenance issues are considered, because ethanol has seen effect on rubber gaskets and such. There can be some things people might notice, but again, none of that should be very serious. And as we adopt the car, you come out big time positive. The ethanol can substantially reduce emissions. And as we go forward, we should see the impact in our emission level in cities and thereby impact in overall health.
And that's real. I want to ask you about India's diesel consumption. Now, that market for sugar producers. And I believe that once that technology that allows
being established to produce ethanol. And in fact, one thing I would probably think of what we should do is make the metros go 100% ethanol. I mean, because vehicles to ethanol instead of burning petrol and diesel. And can actually be leading the way by converting into, these flexi fuel vehicles. And that would be easy for distributors, and you're going to have a much bigger bang for the buck. So I think it's going to be quite interesting. Diesel also, there is a blend available. I mean, so new vehicles have, as our colleague was saying, it's all computerized engine management systems. They can be tuned to, various conditions, and they can easily handle ethanol.
Kedar Soman, from BS4 to BS6, that was a big jump for the Indian automotive sector. This doesn't seem like as difficult as concerned. Now, engines would require major overhaul. I'm not systems, I'm not quite sure. But how smooth do you expect the transition to be still? Because by nature, ethanol does have a corrosive.
Cars and cars that can work on, this spectrum of fuels. That comes when you go to BS6. So that, it's that we're running ethanol, and they were very established. And in fact, you would be surprised was, the wood gas or something. It was better than what we do with there, but none of them are very serious.
Fair enough. So it looks all possible. These targets, as far as ethanol production is concerned, we met those. Now to see it being used by the automotive sector and helping meet our zero emission targets in the years to come, that remains. Now